former Norwalk Mayor Bill Collins, who will speak to us about the limited options of our municipalities in terms of addressing this issue.
It's fortunate to be one of the protagonists in this issue who has not been beaten or abused by the police department, and it's very moving to me to hear these stories of personal courage and bravery that's been exhibited by the folks who testified here. All the police ever did to me physically was to vandalize our house, break beer bottles on the porch, and plaster their union stickers around on the house. But you'd think that probably took some nerve because I was the mayor at the time. That didn't seem to slow them down at all. There's a certain amount of arrogance, I guess, in the community and in the police community. And I'm sure, as we spoke before, it's just a couple of rotten apples in the department that did that little more or less harmless act. But harmless except is meant to show even the chief elected official in the town that who's in charge in the town. It isn't him. It's the members of the police department. There is this false belief in the general public and in people who are elected and appointed to public life that somehow they are in charge of the government, that they're in control of things, even when it comes to police departments and control of how justice is carried out. My own experience in office, I was the mayor for 8 years, and we have a system in Norwalk which is fairly common throughout Connecticut, wherein the civilian control of the police department lies with a police commission. The mayor is the chairman, and he or she gets to appoint 2 other members. And so I was chairman of that commission for 8 years. The commissioners over that period of time, we had ministers on from time to time too. What we discovered was that we didn't really have any control over the police department. Even the chief didn't have much control over the department. Maybe a strong chief could have had a little more, but basically it's the union that controls the police department. There was a raid, and carloads of presumably police officers, someplace, poured out of their cars and went after suspects. But a good portion of these police officers were wearing ski masks and were not showing identification. And so they collared a bunch of people who would never identify themselves, arrested them, handcuffed them, took them off. No showing a badge, no showing the face, no showing the name. It could have been the mafia for all the people in that neighborhood knew. And then the suspects were not taken to police headquarters. They were taken to a warehouse down by the harbor. And they were interrogated by these masked, presumably presumably police officers. And some were then taken to police headquarters, some of them were let go, and the people who arrested them were never identified. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were at a hearing where this issue was brought up again in front of the police chief, who said, tried to first say it never happened, but it had been in the newspaper, so it's hard to say it never happened. But I don't think to this day anybody knows, anybody from the community knows who the officers were that attacked them. What happened to them in the warehouse is only the suspect's side of the story, because there's no one identified on the police side who participated. There's no one to make an accusation against because no one admits that they were there. It's an unbelievable way to run a criminal justice system in a civilized state like Connecticut. How impotent elected public authority is to control misconduct by our law enforcement officers. I was really taken with Rick's proposal for a statewide oversight board. I think that is an inspired idea.
With this review board, that would be one of the things that they could be penalized for if they don't allow you to file a complaint. You file a complaint, it's not handled properly, it's whitewashed, and then you can now have a body which will bring an investigation on your behalf.
Before we go on, I'd like to read a letter that was hand-delivered to me this morning. A union, New England Healthcare Employees 1199. December 6, 1996, Chairman Richard Goldstein called, "Dear Mr. Goldstein, the New England Healthcare Employees Union District 1199 endorses the idea of a statewide civilian review board to investigate and rule upon allegations of police misconduct anywhere within the state of Connecticut. We are sure that a state civilian review board would give the citizens of the state confidence in its fairness and procedures. Such enhanced confidence will lead to better police and community relations and will, we hope, be welcomed by all those who are concerned with fairness and justice for citizens and police alike. Sincerely, Jerome P. Brown, President." Visionaries of all persuasions have come on board to support this issue. Next, we have Bob Davidson, Chairman, Connecticut Reform Party, Director, United We Stand America.
Point of view, Connecticut needs an accurate and effective way to answer these questions and to manage, or to help to manage our judicial system. I feel that an impartial statewide oversight board is a good first step in reaching that goal. Civilian oversight boards have been successful in the majority of countries in the English-speaking world. And my feeling, and I believe I represent those two organizations that I spoke of, we feel that Connecticut needs to now make those steps so that we can join the rest of the English-speaking world and have some sort of a tool where we will be able to help to manage our judicial system and our democracy. Thank you.
As you can see, we have the problem, we have support for a solution, and now I think the question is, obviously, where do we go from here? As the author of the legislation, you all know my feelings. But I think what is important is that not only do you know my feelings, but we address the feelings of those who are indeed experts in this field.